welcome back to P&P Kids. I'm so happy you're here today, and we have something very special. It's a little series we're going to do of books by Mother Melania, and I know we've read a couple together of her poems about the feasts and other things, but now we're going to do a couple that she's teaching a lesson through the story of animals. So I think you're going to learn some beautiful lessons about our life in Christ and how to be virtuous. So I'm going to teach you a little psalm that has some moves to it. It's one of the psalms in our scriptures, and it's the first psalm. And I taught my kids this growing up, and I'm sure they could still do the movements today, and they all know it. And I think it's a beautiful one to hide in your heart, to learn and to hide in your heart. Okay, so we're going to do it together. So it goes. How blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. And he will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. And whatever he does, he prospers. The wicked are not so, but they are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. So, you want to do it one more time with me? Okay, so you can get yourself ready and you copy my movements, and you're going to learn this psalm really quickly, okay, if you just repeat it. How blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. And he will be like a tree firmly planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and whatever he does, he prospers. The wicked are not so, but they are like the chaff which the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. So we want to be like that man who didn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand or sit in the seat of the scoffers. But what did he delight in? He delighted in God's word, in truth, right? And in God's truth, he meditated and he thought about it day and night. And therefore, he was going to be like a tree that was planted firm and couldn't be tossed around and broken, but it would be a tree that would be fruitful. So that's what we want to be. We want to be virtuous Christians that are fruitful and that bear much fruit and are firmly planted, that even when the things in the world are crazy and blowing us around and there's storms around. Today's a stormy day here. You can hear the rain and the wind. That our tree and our roots are going down deep into Christ and into the virtues of his holy church and the life that we live in him. Okay, so this is a book by Mother Melania, and one of my friends who's a Presbytera, her name's Casey Hassel, and she's in Santa Barbara. She is an artist for these books, and you're going to love the pictures that you can learn about Greedy the crow, okay, and how to not be greedy, but to be generous, okay? So here we go. Today was Fire Preparedness Day at the duck pond. At least twice a year, Fearless visited all the animals who lived around the pond, checking to make sure that their homes were safe against fire. Fearless' first stop was the home of the elegant egret. Elegant had a large home, a mansion in fact, complete with statues of her famous egret ancestors in her English garden. "Good morning, Elegant," Fearless began. Good morning to you, Fearless, replied Elegant. It is a fine morning. It is a wonderful morning. Yes, it is, agreed Fearless. What a beautiful home you have. Thank you. It is a beautiful home. It is an amazing, lovely home. In fact, it is an extraordinarily marvelous home. True, said Fearless. I'm here because today is Fire Preparedness Day. Yes, I know, replied Elegant. Fortunately, I am prepared. Oh, yes, indeed. I have already cleared all the brush away from my house. I planned 3 escape routes. I even planted fire-resistant trees around the house. Well, you certainly do sound prepared, Fearless said. Of course I am prepared, Elegant broke out. With such an elegant home, I have to be prepared. After a few words of praise for Elegant's planning, Fearless excused himself. Next, he went to visit Spartan, the Sparhawk. Spartan's house was small and plain. His house had just one room, a table, a chair, and a bare light bulb. Good morning, Spartan. Morning, answered Spartan, who didn't have time for small talk. What brings you here? Well, today is Fire Preparedness Day, and I am checking to make sure all the pond animals are prepared in case there's a fire. I'm always prepared, Spartan responded. I know exactly what to do, and when I do it, if there be a fire, I can pick up my knapsack, which is already packed, and be gone in 2 minutes. Fearless just nodded and went on his way. His next visit was to Charity, the church mouse. Charity was one of Fearless's favorite friends. She was as poor as a church mouse. Charity never complained, though she was generous with what she had. Of course, Fearless could not fit in Charity's little mouse hole, so she came out to talk with him. Good morning, Fearless. I am so glad to see you. Can I get you a cup of tea? That would be wonderful, Charity. In just a wink, Charity popped back out of her home with a steaming cup of hot tea. And thanks, Fearless said graciously. It is my pleasure. And how about having a cookie or 2? No, thank you, Charity. The tea is plenty and it is delicious. I am glad. Well, Fearless, to what do I owe the honor of this visit? Well, it's Fire Preparedness Day, and it is my job to make sure that all the animals' homes are safe. Peering through the door into Charity's plain little home, Fearless thought, there's hardly anything in there at all for a fire to burn, but somehow it looks a lot more like a home than Spartan's house does. Aloud, he said, it looks just fine, so have a very nice day, Charity. And you too, Fearless. Fearless's final stop was to the cottage of Greedy the Crow. Fearless sighed. Oh, just getting to Greedy's door was a challenge. Greedy collected things, whatever things he could carry in flight. Sure enough, there was a big pile of treasures spilling out from Greedy's front door. First, Fearless tripped over a stack of paint rags lying on the walk, and then he jumped over a heap of wooden popsicle sticks. He even had to hop over a large pile of stale French fries in a bag. Fearless had nearly gotten to the door when Greedy flew down. Greedy had a shiny foil wrapper in his bill. Hi, Fearless, Greedy cawed. See my shiny foil wrapper? Yes, I do, Fearless replied. It is certainly shiny. What brings you here, Fearless? Well, it's Fire Preparedness Day, and to tell you the truth, you need to do a lot of work to be prepared. For one thing, you haven't mowed or watered your lawn. The grass is long and dry, and it could catch on fire very easily. I know, replied Greedy, but I'm so busy collecting all these wonderful things that I don't have time to take care of my lawn. But you should get rid of most of this stuff, Greedy. Look at these sticks and this bag and these old paint rags. They all could catch fire quickly. Your house is in danger. You need to mow your lawn and get all the stuff out of your yard. I'll come back tomorrow to make sure that it's been done, okay? Greedy was so grumpy about being told what to do, he thought for a while. Then he smiled to himself. Later that day, Greedy mowed his lawn, and then he took in all the stuff from the front yard. The next day, Fearless came back and said, The yard looks a lot better, Greedy. Good job. Greedy smiled. "Thanks, Fearless," he replied. "Is everything just as clean inside, Greedy?" Fearless asked, for Greedy was blocking his door. "Oh, definitely," replied Greedy, but Fearless could see that Greedy had a few of his feathers crossed behind his wing. Not even 2 weeks later, Greedy returned home with a magnifying glass he had found. He set it in his window where it could catch the light and throw beautiful reflections. Then he flew off to see what else he could find. It was nearly noon, and the magnifying glass focused the sun's rays onto the pile of paint rags. Soon, the rags caught on fire. Smoke began to curl out of the windows and through the cracks in the door. Because sometimes if you hold a magnifying glass and the sun shines through it, it can magnify the sun's heat and catch even a leaf on fire. So it's kind of dangerous. What happened? After a while, a spark fell onto the bag with the French fries. The little pile of sticks caught next. Then Greedy's whole cottage caught on fire. Flying back to his house, Greedy spotted the smoke. Quick as that, he turned, flew to the firehouse, and called loudly, "My house is on fire! My house is on fire!" Fearless came with a fire truck, but it was too late. Greedy stared sadly at the smoking mess in his yard. His magnifying glass was melted. His beautiful paint rags were crisp. His French fries were a pile of cinders. His cottage and all his shiny things were in a heap of ashes. Greedy needed help. First, he went to Elegant Egret. "I'm sorry, Greedy," she said, "but I couldn't possibly help you. If I got soot all over me, I wouldn't be elegant anymore, would I?" Next, he went to Sparhawk. "That's what you get for not being prepared, Greedy. I hope you learned your lesson," Spartan said. That wasn't very kind. Last, he went to Charity, the church mouse. "Of course I'll help you," she said. "You can live with me until you can build your cottage again." So Greedy lived with Charity, and he became a little bit less greedy every single day, until finally they had to change his name to Grateful. Grateful the Crow. How could Charity manage to make her hole big enough to house a crow? Well, Charity can do amazing things, you know. And that is the end. So I hope that you got to learn something about being humble, not being greedy, and keeping all the things, even if your friend's trying to help you protect your house. And also, when you see a friend in need, like Charity, we can be gracious and open-hearted to our friends in need and helpful, right? There's always something to do around your house, around the church property, around your neighbor's house to be helpful and loving, right? I hope that you can be like Charity, and I hope I can be like Charity too. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time on P&P Kids. God bless you.
Patristic Nectar Publications is pleased to announce a new conference entitled The Sacred Arts, Preaching the Gospel Without Words, with lectures given by Father Maximos Constas and Jonathan Pajot. From Friday, March 29th to Sunday, March 31st, conference topics will include the origin of sacred art, how iconography preaches the gospel, how to read an icon, how architecture preaches the gospel, how music preaches the gospel, and a sermon by Father Maximos. We hope you will join us for opportunities to pray, meet our speakers, attend a young adult social hour, and network with like-minded individuals. A $60 registration fee includes an in-person seat, access to a live stream which can be viewed from anywhere, and the conference recordings. To register and find more information, please visit conference.patristicnectar.org.